I'm Srivani, Assistant Professor CSE from Mahindra College of Engineering. Today we are going to see about problem solving and Python programming. So the Python programming, why we go for Python programming is available on a wide variety of platform including Linux, Mac, OS. Let us understand how to use our Python environment and overview of Python environment. That is history of Python, running Python and output, data types, input file and output file, control flow, function, working with the MySQL. So next, first we are going to know about brief history of Python. Python is invented in Netherlands in early 90s by Guido van Rossum. It is named after the Monty Python. It is used as an open source from the beginning and it is considered as the scripting language, but it is much more scalable, object oriented, functional, and from the beginning it is used by the Google from the earlier itself. It is popular among become more and more. Then major utilities, that is major uses of Pythons are system utilities, web development, graphical user interface, internet scripting, databases access and programming, game programming, rapid prototyping and development, then distributed programming. So the organization why using the Python is web development, games, graphics, financials, sciences, electronic device automations, then education and business softwares. So nowadays in all fields we are using Python. So now we are going to enter in the coding side. So first of all the terminal window and the type the Python. Next one is window is open within the coding is done by the Python IDE like idle, which is first program to enter is an hello world. So next one is it is an open source code, then it is an interpreter and interactive coding. Next one is the Python programs are composed of modules. Modules contain statements, statement contain expressions, and expressions create and process the objects. So, how to we are using an interpreter. So, interpreter is an high level language conversion of the instruction, that is Python is an interpreter language. It provides an interactive environment to play with the language and the result of the expressions are printed. That is, if you are see the example, that is if you are going to implement two integer, that is 4 plus 7 means it will give the result 11. So here we can directly give the result expressions. So now we are going to understand about the code, that is usage of code. Indentation is an important one in the Python programming. That is indentation is matter to code, that is the block structure indicated by induction, first assignment to the variable and it creates. So in every Python programming the first initial thing is by variable declaration. In there is a difference between the C programming and Python programming. Why? In C programming, in other language we are using the header files, but here we are directly declare the variable and there we get the input. So the Python figures out the variable types on its own. Here the assignment is used with the symbol of equal and the comparison is equal and equal. The numbers are represented by plus, minus, asterisk, slash, percentages are expected. The logical operators are used in the form of words, not in the symbols. But in C language, we are using by symbols. Here we use and or not in the by words. So next to one important thing is white spaces. So white spaces is a meaningful in Python, especially indentation and the placement of the new lines. So in normally new lines are used by the slash n in the some other language, but in Python we use in a slash. That is, use of new line to end line of a code, use slash when must go to the next line prematurely. So here, the flower braces or brackets are not used. That is, no uses of braces to the block of codes to use the consistent indentation inside. So here we can't use the flower bracket. For that we use the indentation. First line with the least indentation is the outside of the block, and first line with the more indentation starts the nested block. Colons are used here. That is, there is a difference between the other language and Python. In Python, we can't terminate each line. We terminate with the conditions only. That is, conditions or loops only with the colon symbol. But in other language, we are terminate in each line with the semicolon. So, for example, in Python, colon starts of a new block in a main construct. That is, example is function definition, then classes, if loops. Next important thing is naming rules. Names are case sensitive and cannot start with a number. They contain letter, numbers and underscore. Here are some examples for the naming rules. So we can't use the reserved words. Some words are break, class, continue, if, del, elif, else, except, execute, finally, for, from, global, if, import. So these reserved words are not used in your program naming. So next, what are the conventions? So the Python community has recommended some naming convention, that is joined lower for the functions, methods and attributes, and joined or all caps for the constants. Steadily caps for the classes and camel case only to confirm the pre-existing conventions. The attributes like interface and underscore internal and private. So important thing in your Python programming is naming convention. Okay. So next we are going to see about the print statement. So the elements separated by the commas print with the space between them. So here we can't use the parenthesis or bracket or anything in your print statement. So print statement already we know about the print statement to display the what we are going to see. That is, it's like an output statement. So see the example. Print string means it will with the single quotes, double quotes or triple quotes in the normal programming. In print we use the single quotes. Hello. So next, at comma at the end of the statement, that is print hello, will not print a new line. Okay, so print statement already you know about. Print statement is used to display your what we are going to get, that is the C in the output screen. Next one is documentation. It starts with the hash symbol. The hash starts a line of command. See the example. This is will print. That is single quote with the this will print. That is hash comma this will not. So this is the documentation. Next is variables. So variables are already you know the variables is the important one in the programming languages. So each and every language variable is the important thing. In Python we have something to use the variables. It are not declared, just assigned. Here the Python other languages we are using, that is declaring a variables and giving the values. Here it's not declared, it will just assign. The variable is created the first time you assign it a value. Next, they are reference to the object, and the type of information with the object is not the reference. Everything in the Python is an object. You know already everything in the Python is an object. That is, everything as an object means everything means it including the function, data type and classes and the property of the object and not to the variable. See the example, that is x is equal to 7, x7, x is equal to L, x hello. So in Python programming, everything is declared as an object. So numbering, that is data types. Numbers are with the different thing. That is integer. Already you know integer in equivalent of the C long and long integer and unbounded integer value. That is you know the in numbering we use whole in the integers. Next to floating we use floating point is decimal point. That is int of x. converts the x to an integer. See the example, that is 1.2.2323 to an integer. Float of x is convert x to a floating point. The interpreters show a lot of digits. Interpreters means the high level instructions are executed and giving our values. Next one is string literals. Strings are immutable. So what is meant by mutable and immutable? Mutable means it can be changed, okay, but immutable means it cannot be changed. So there is a no character like in C++ or Java. The in Python with the strings are the immutable. That is, we can compare or join or anything, but we can't replace anything. That is, see the example, x is equal to hello, x is equal to x plus there. That is, here the string is concatenated. That is, the output of this is hello and there are combined and they give. The here we use the concatenation as plus symbol. Okay, plus is overloaded to the concatenations. Next, the important thing, we can't replace any new thing, but we can get an option anything else. Okay, so the strings in Python and other languages are different. So we can use a string concatenation, string copy and string compare by equalizing the two strings, but we cannot change the input or anything else. So there is the lot of difference between the other and other thing and other languages and Python programming. The strings, what is the difference between the Python and other is, in Python we can use a single quotation, double quotation, the triple quotation in the strings. That means we can use the single word or combining the two word or comparing the two word, or we can compare right getting the output in the paragraph. So okay, so thank you.